Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my June 2024 book haul. Usually what I do in June is I go to my Friends of the Library used bookstore because I have a $3 off coupon that will expire in June that I grabbed from the Gaithersburg Book Festival that takes place in May. But unfortunately, this year, as I've whined about in a couple of videos, I wasn't able to go to the Gaithersburg Book Festival. I caught the COVID. So I figured I could, spruce things up, do things a little bit differently this year. And I was thinking of a used bookstore very close to me, just a few blocks away in walking distance, called Mojo Mala, which is a used books and records store. And in fact, they just moved, or recently moved, to a new shopping area, and it's a new storefront. So I figured I'd go ahead and check out that new space because I hadn't been there before. And I'll link to more information about them down below. They are a very small bookstore, so even with my large, scavenger hunt lists of books that caught my fancy, it could be difficult to find books there that are, actually on my list. So I gave myself, some permission to improvise a little bit. I suppose that's fun even in and of itself to have even more of a surprise about what I'm going to find there. And I ended up picking up 3 books. The first book I decided to pick up is Mercury Pictures Presents by Anthony Marra. And actually, a couple of years ago, when this came out, he was at the Gaithersburg Book Festival to promote it. And it caught my fancy. I thought this sprawling, I guess, historical novel about, Hollywood could be up my alley, but I decided to go for another book instead in terms of buying it and getting it signed there that year. But now I get a second chance, and looking forward to seeing if it lives up. The second book I bought is another Amos Oz novel. I talked about him a little bit in my last book haul, which was a used book haul, where I randomly found a couple of his books, and he's an author who I guess you could say is a favorite, and I would like to read his stuff, and I figured, if I came across any of his works, I would, give them a try. So this is the one I found this month, Fima, which seems to be the most about ennui, like with his main character, who mostly seems to be coasting, like having love affairs and writing lackluster books of poetry sort of thing. Very slight novel again, and we'll have to see what I think of it. And the final book I decided to buy was The Space Between Us by Thrity Umrigar. Umrigar's book Honor is something I put on my scavenger hunt list. I guess I most likely heard about it a few years ago through Book Riot when that book came out, but this was the book on the shelves of Mojo Mala, and I decided, why not? I'll just try this author out with this book instead. And anyway, I will read from the flap. Poignant, evocative, and unforgettable, The Space Between Us is an intimate portrait of a distant yet familiar world. Set in modern-day India, it is the story of 2 compelling and achingly real women. Sarah Dubash, an upper-middle-class Parsi housewife, whose opulent surroundings hide the shame and disappointment of her abusive marriage. And Bhima, a stoic illiterate, hardened by a life of despair and loss, who has worked in the Dubash household for more than 20 years. A powerful and perceptive literary masterwork, author Thrity Umrigar's extraordinary novel demonstrates how the lives of the rich and poor are intrinsically connected, yet vastly removed from each other, and how the strong bonds of womanhood are eternally opposed by the divisions of class and culture. So yeah, I figured this is in line with a lot of the Indian literature I've read, although I guess like I would think a lot of the fiction I've read might be only upper class or only lower class centered, so maybe this will be more intriguing in a way to have both classes and women of, both situations in it. So I'm looking forward to giving it a go. And that about covers it for me now. I will leave the Goodreads links for all 3 of these books linked down below. We are inching way into the end of the month now, and I figure it is time to bring up and exciting annual tradition that has certainly been making the rounds on BookTube lately. I am talking about the mid-year book check-in freakout tag. There's a bunch of different varieties of this tag floating around, and I matched a few of them together, I guess it is, a few years ago, and ask myself these questions every year to, give a update on how the reading year is going so far. Now that we're in the middle of the year by now, it's kind of crazy, but this tag is also very crazy and fun, and, everybody looks forward to, doing and watching these, so stay tuned. And I hope you have all found some great finds, whether by design or accident, in terms of what's lining your shelves, and that you are enjoying reading them as well. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.